Hello and welcome to my channel, the Krytan Herald. In this series of videos I will be going through how to play Guild Wars 2 and how to get the most out of the game while doing it. I hope you enjoy. So we're going to begin with how the game looks. Guild Wars 2 is a beautiful game and there are many options for setting up the appearance. How to access them? Click over to the Games menu, click into Options. Options is all the utility settings, how the graphics look, how your key bindings are, the sound, and how the game appears. There were lots of options for loot, for how name tags appear in the game. Some people love them, some people hate them. I like to keep mine to a minimum, but I do show all enemy name tags just for survivability. There is also lots of options that you don't get in other MMOs. For example, you can change the position of your character as it's shown on the screen. You do not have to be dead center. You can offset, which is quite nice. You can change the vertical position of the camera. You can change the sensitivity of the camera, the sensitivity of the zoom, and the field of view, which is nice. You can also invert the camera axes. There are lots of options in here. And the best thing to do is to have a play around, and if you have any specific questions about this interface or any of the interfaces that we're going to go through, any of the options, leave a question and I will do my best to answer it. There was one piece of advice that I would give you, and it is to turn off double tap to evade. I have killed myself more times on jumping puzzles than I care to mention by having this little button clicked. Now jumping puzzles is quite a unique game type to Guild Wars 2, and it is exactly what it sounds like. Climbing up the sides of mountains to get to achievement points and chests and get all sorts of silly stuff, and it's great fun, but double tap to evade will kill you and hurl you off the tops of mountains. So, I mean, you may want to recommend to your friends to keep it on just for shits and giggles, but I think turning it off is the safest bet if you want to try and get through your jumping puzzle experience as painlessly as possible. Then we have graphics settings. You can get very specific in this. You can play with the gamma. You can set and change the settings to suit. There is also an option for people who are less familiar with these sort of specifications to have the best performance or the best appearance, or to auto-detect the settings that will suit best the current computer system you're running. And there is options for volume as well. You can set the master volume, the music volume, environment, UI, player instruments as well. Guild Wars 2 has many player instruments. If anyone here has ever played Lord of the Rings online, it is very similar to that, and there's a lot of beautiful music, and there is some tone deaf players as well. So, you know, it's good to know what this is. I just say that. And then key bindings. Now, key bindings are important. The standard user interface that you will get when you unbox the game, freshly smint your lovely level 1 character, and, you know, step blinking into the light, and it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as your main weapon skills, 6 as your healing skill, and 7, 8, 9, and 0. And I can't play like that. I don't have big hands or the skill. You might be a magician, I'm not. So I would heavily suggest that you keybind these to buttons that are easy to get to, comfortable for you to use, because with the movement in the game, it is a very heavily orientated around moving while playing, moving while fighting, especially if you are a glass cannon like my elementalist here. If you don't move, you die, and you know, so it's a bit of a learning curve. But it's great fun, and it's an awesome change from some of the more static MMOs. Yes, you know, for example, I play and played a lot of World of Warcraft, and as a caster, you get used to sort of like standing your ground, spamming, checking that you're not standing in the fire, and then running somewhere else. And if you do that in Guild Wars 2, you're going to die. So make sure you can use your buttons, that you're happy with them. It's also exceptionally easy to change them. So you want to change your heal skill, you just double tap, press the buttons that you want to be associated with it, and bind them, and that's it. That's as difficult as it gets. And if you make a complete mess of it all, and you've removed something, and now you can't get into anything else, you can restore them to default settings and start again. So that is the appearance of the game and the key bindings.